Good morning and welcome to Freedom to Drive Virginia Beach, spotlighting how electric vehicles are delivering savings, innovation, and freedom of choice for American drivers. It is my pleasure to introduce my friend and the delegate from the 97th District, Michael Figgins.
Hey, good morning, y'all. I'm Delegate Michael Figgins, and I have the pleasure of representing House District 97 in Virginia Beach. Thank you for joining us here in Virginia Beach as we come together to support the freedom to drive and, most importantly, the freedom to choose. For those that don't know me, I'm not just a legislator, I'm a gearhead. I've built and raced cars, tuned engines, and restored classics. I've spent time under the hood, getting my hands dirty to create speed, power, and precision. That's why I'm excited about the future of electric vehicles. EVs give us the chance to merge the craftsmanship of the past and the technology of the future. And that's innovation I can stand behind. I'm also a 20-year Air Force veteran who has served overseas. I know firsthand that national security risks are tied to our dependence to foreign oil. Every year, the United States spends billions of dollars of taxpayer money to protect oil infrastructure and transit routes overseas. This diverse resources from critical strategic priorities and puts American service members in harm's way. Our reliance on the volatile global markets makes us vulnerable to these actions, and that's why I'm here today. In 2022, gas prices rose 52% in 1 year, while electric prices only rose around 4%. This helped because electricity comes from a stable, diverse, and domestic energy portfolio. Transitioning to EVs helps our energy future and insulates us from foreign influence. The transportation sector accounts for 27% of energy use. Widespread adoption of EVs is not just an environmental decision, it's an economic and security imperative. It means more American jobs, greater energy independence, and real savings for drivers, with EV owners saving $20 to $30 per fill-up. And if we're serious about competing globally, we need to pay attention to the warning signs. The CEO of Ford said it best very recently. China's rapid progress on EVs is humbling. It's one of the most humbling things he's seen. If we don't accelerate our own development, we risk losing American jobs, innovation, and leadership. That's why I've been proud to support so many of our infrastructure supports, from expanding EV infrastructure to working with our power partners to expand EV adoption and charging. As a gearhead, as a veteran, and as a policymaker, I believe freedom to drive means freedom to choose. But to protect that freedom, we must lead, not follow. Let's build that future together, here in Virginia, here in America, and let's stay in the driver's seat. Thank you. And now I'd like to introduce Alleyn.
Thank you, Delegate Figgins, and thank you all for being here today, here in Virginia Beach. I'm Alleyn Harned. I'm with the statewide Clean Fuel Vehicle Coalition, Virginia Clean Cities, and I want to echo what has been said. Energy, economic, and environmental security are all enhanced by the advancement of these clean fuel vehicles and technologies. EVs are one key tool for this change ahead, and it's a critical tool in a commonwealth like Virginia, which uses about $50 million a day of oil and produces nearly no oil. We all deserve the freedom to breathe clean air, and electric vehicles do not produce tailpipe pollution that causes asthma attacks, heart attacks, cancer, as well as other environmental harms. The transportation sector is the leading sector for carbon pollution in the nation and in Virginia, and pollution from cars, trucks, and buses dirties our air. It threatens our health, and it can lead to increased respiratory diseases like asthma. In March 2022, the Lung Association released their Zeroing In on Clean Air report, which covered Virginia and talked about the opportunities of these technologies. It talked about a savings of $29.7 billion in health. It talked about the elimination of 2,700 premature deaths and reducing 70,900 asthma attacks, as well as 350,000 lost workdays, making it so that people can work because they're not taking care of themselves or a family member at the hospital due to an event that is caused by the air pollution from some of the vehicles that we drive. In Virginia, We are very proud that at the consumer level and at the fleet level that we've reached 100,000 electric vehicles operating in the Commonwealth. We have several here today, but we need to keep expanding those opportunities for consumers, for fleet operators, for municipalities, for businesses as they seek to improve their bottom lines for emissions and their bottom lines for technology opportunity. I am very blessed to have had a chance to drive an electric vehicle down today from Harrisonburg, Virginia. It was a great ride, charged along the way. We need to continue providing that kind of opportunity for state employees like me, for other team members to make such travels. I want to thank the team members in this area, the Drive Electric Tidewater team and the Drive Electric Virginia team throughout the nation, all of these, throughout the Commonwealth, all these consumer clubs that are showcasing their vehicles, that are talking to their neighbors. I want to thank them for their good work. That is an effort of Virginia Clean Cities as well. And electric vehicles are an important part of our future and of our freedom. They power the next chapter in the American story, one built on innovation, on energy independence, on economic opportunity and freedom. We've seen bipartisan embrace and celebration of these technologies, celebrating the green jobs. With Volvo expanding, we need to return to Volvo expanding. With Microporous building a battery factory, a major economic development announcement, we need to return to having those economic development announcements fully successful. We want to fully realize those jobs and those opportunities to put Americans to work. There are over 240,000 jobs and 224 billion in economic investments created by American-made electric vehicles and batteries in the U.S. and in Virginia, with almost 100,000 clean energy jobs. 8,785 of those are associated with clean vehicle technologies. It's never too late to turn policy towards the good. A lot of federal tax policies were instated by George W. Bush or George H.W. Bush, if you go back to the Energy Policy Act. These are things that have happened with Democrats and Republicans, and so I do want to recognize the opportunity for federal leadership, recognize the local legislator at the federal level for her work, being sure that in the Senate letter there was support for clean energy incentives, returning to those clean energy incentives in the years ahead at the federal level, working towards clean energy incentives at the state level will be very valuable. So state and federal policies are critical in this partnership for these clean fuels and technologies. Thank you for having me. I do want to recognize and pass it over to Eric Pinzone with Electrified Marina, and a good friend of mine. Eric.
Appreciate everybody's time. I'm a big fan of electric cars. I've been driving electric since 2013. I worked for Tesla for 9 years. I've owned a few dozen of them, and at one point had a dozen electric cars on Turo for a rental fleet. So you could say I've seen the good, bad, and the ugly for electric vehicles. One thing's for sure, over the last decade, I've seen a lot of people buying a second and a third electric car and telling their friends about it. It's addicting. And that's because they've had the opportunity to purchase these vehicles being available because of some incentives. I'm usually not the biggest fan of subsidies, but when it's helping get a new technology off the ground, there is a place for it. It's 2% of electric or of vehicles on the road right now are electric, so they haven't even really had their chance yet. If we're considering removing all subsidies for electric cars, we should consider doing it for gas and oil as well, as we've been propping those industries up for a few decades here, worth of a few billion, if not $1 trillion, once you consider the health side effects of it. In terms of electric propulsion, it gives you the freedom to be energy agnostic, whether it's solar panels on your roof, plugging into the grid, getting nuclear, natural gas, or even coal. Either way, those are domestically sourced energy supply. It's not relying on foreign oil. Doesn't matter if it's Canada, Mexico, Saudi Arabia, or Iraq. Being able to source your energy here in the United States goes a long way. And I don't care if you're left or right or where you are politically, it's hard to argue that you'd want to source energy from outside of the country when we've got plenty of it available here. With China and Europe pulling ahead, whether it's in electric cars or boats, we're not going to get the chance to catch up if we pull away from incentives right now. Electric cars in China are dominating right now because of subsidies, because of the incentives, and to help kickstart that technology. They've already surpassed us in electric cars, and soon we might not have the chance to catch up. And with that ripple effect of that technology, it ripples into electric boats, which is how we started our business. And right now, electric boats are dominated by Europe and soon to be Asia with the acceleration they're having. Either way, the economic impact of the economy of jobs, whether it's hundreds of billions of dollars in investments or hundreds of thousands of jobs here in America, we need to realize the impact these subsidies have. Either way, there's no there's no left versus right on this. It's right or wrong, and everybody knows the impact that's going to happen if we pull these incentives away. Appreciate everybody's time today. Wanted to introduce Judson from Go Green Electric. He's been a friend of mine for about 8 years, and he's probably installed more charging stations than anybody on the East Coast. Thanks, everybody.
Good morning. I'm Judson Clements. I'm the president and founder of Go Green Electric. I'm a master electrician, not a public speaker. I was born and raised here in Hampton Roads. I've spent most of my life powering homes, businesses in the future. I founded Go Green Electric in 2009, just me, a van, and a big dream. Today we have a 25-man crew and a fleet, some of which is electric, all here to service the Hampton Roads area. We are a commercial and residential electrical contractor specializing in electrical vehicle charging systems. Since 2009, we've installed over 2,500 charging stations, many of them right at home. Plug in, go to bed, and in the morning you have a full tank. There's nothing more convenient than waking up to a full tank of gas each day. It's convenient, cost efficient, and built around your routine. EVs are built for simplicity. No oil changes, no engine service, just charge and enjoy. It's not complicated. It's not a futuristic dream. It's already here, and we're building it every day. EV infrastructure puts that EV infrastructure puts that power in the hands of America. Energy can come from, like Eric said, solar panels on your roof, nuclear power plants, and then charging technology is ever evolving. We now have smart chargers that know your home's load, can give you the max charge rate without having to do expensive utility upgrades. EVs can now also replace home generators. We have bidirectional charging. It's safe. We also have smart time of use charging that can save on your electrical bill by charging off peak. I personally save 20% of my power bills alone. I've owned several electric vehicles, but my favorite so far is right here, the Hummer. It's a super truck. It has 11,500 pounds of torque. It's fun, powerful, and capable. This EV can tow my boat that's 9,000 pounds from Nag's Head to my home in Newport News on a single charge with range to spare. EVs are built for real people, living real lives, and this transition being built by the same people on the ground. It's creating jobs in our community by locals like us, wiring up garages, digging trenches, and helping families kick gas every day. We're proud to be part of that, and we're doing the work to make EVs more practical, accessible, and convenient right here in our community. Because it isn't just about cars, it's about freedom, the future, and doing the work now to keep America moving forward. Thank you so much for joining us today. I'd like to introduce Jim Purecow with Advanced Energy United.
Morning, everybody. I'm Jim Purecow, as Justin said, from Advanced Energy United. We're a technology agnostic trade association representing over 18 different states, but love it here in Virginia. I'm based in Norfolk, Virginia, so I'm happy to be a Hampton Roads member and citizen. But during my time as a helicopter pilot in the Marine Corps, who deployed in Iraq and through the Persian Gulf, I saw plenty of reasons why our reliance upon fossil fuels posed a danger for our energy security at home. I don't regret responding to the call to serve, but I also came away with a sense that one of the outcomes of war should be a drive to do better, to avoid unnecessary conflicts, if possible. Today's current trends, I see us throwing away the sacrifices made by so many, walking away from the lessons from over 20 years of conflict and propelling us towards more conflict in the future, especially when there are so many alternatives made available to us. The opportunity to shift away from fossil fuel vehicles toward electric vehicles is an alternative that is in full practice today, and one that works. At Advanced Energy United, we're working every day to achieve 100% clean energy, a 100% clean energy economy, because we know it's the right path. And as an EV owner myself, I know I'm on the right side of history, taking that right path. I may not have all the resources or the means to go toe-to-toe against the fossil fuel industry, but I know I'm taking that right path. And I know that when I charge my vehicle during non-peak hours, I'm not only taking ownership and serving my planet, but I'm also saving money and putting that towards other basic needs for my family. When I don't have to take an electric vehicle to the shop for an oil change or a tune-up, I feel good about splurging on a nice meal. And I know that when my friends who own electric trucks charge their vehicle through solar or wind technology, they're not only part of an ecosystem that works off of natural energy, but one that can also power critical appliances in their homes and in the event of a power outage, storing the same amount of power as 7 to 9 home batteries. And when our state invests in electric school bus fleets, we're not only reducing gas emissions by 54,000 pounds a year, we're also investing in a resource that can provide additional stability to our electric grid during power outages or emergencies. And one thing that's often overlooked is that these cars are incredibly fun to drive. If you've never stepped on the accelerator of an electric vehicle, you've never experienced true and continuous acceleration. And that feeling doesn't go away either the first time you step on the gas or the pedal or the 100th time. We're encouraging folks to do something good for yourselves and your communities. We're not asking you to take eat your vegetables, but we're making folks aware of a fun experience that you can replicate, that you can't replicate in a traditional vehicle. So I'm calling upon our state lawmakers, including our next governor, whoever she may be, to make sure that they're keeping us on the right side of history when they consider supporting legislation that encourages more of these vehicles on the road. We need more EV chargers and charging stations throughout the Commonwealth. We need more multifamily homes and car garages to come equipped with more charging stations. And yes, this takes strong leadership and a conviction to do the right thing. Thank you again for being here and for sharing this time with us. This concludes the formal programming of today's event.